Good evening. This presentation tonight is on the case of James Alderson versus HCA, Healthcare Corporation of America, or HCA for short. Overview of the account. James is a CPA. He's an experienced CPA with a background in public accounting. Had worked for Arthur Andersen, and then he started his own private practice, a CPA firm. In the process of doing his own thing for a few years, he was consulting with a hospital, who later, after a few years of that professional relationship, the hospital offered him full-time employment, which he accepted. A short time into his tenure as an accountant with the hospital administrators decided they need to find a healthcare management company to work with. So they did some due diligence and came up with Quorum, identified Quorum, which was connected with HCA as the management company they wanted to work with. Shortly after they started working with this management company, a consultant approached James and asked him if he was keeping two sets of books, keeping two reports exactly. James wasn't quite sure what this meant, so he asked him clarifying questions, and the consultant told James that what's common in the industry is to take, when it comes to reimbursements from the government, healthcare reimbursements from the government, it's common to have one report that's got inflated costs, basically listing everything they can conceivably get reimbursed for from the government, and they submit that for reimbursement. Then they have a second report, which is a fallback report, which is much more conservative, that they fall back to in the event that the first report is rejected by the government by the audit. James, upon hearing this, said he was not interested, felt that it was unethical to do the reimbursements in that manner, and decided that he didn't want to participate. He's told the consultant he was not going to do it, and then the consultant walked away, and James thought the matter was dropped. Unfortunately, a few days later, at a company retreat, the same consultant approached James and told him that he was being dismissed. So he went home, having been fired. He had to relocate his family, find a new job, and then in the process of doing that, decided that he was going to sue Quest, or Quorum, and HCA, and he was going to try and recoup some of those losses. The IMA framework, he was very competent. He was experienced as a CPA. He knew what he was doing, and so his professional judgment was in place when he decided that that was an unethical course of approach. Confidentiality, he did not tell any other superiors, kind of kept it between the parties that were present in that conversation, and thought the matter was dropped, and he moved forward. Integrity, he moved forward with due diligence in the beginning, trying to make sure that the hospital's interests were best served, and trying to find a management company that would meet the true needs of the organization. Credibility, when he decided to sue, put together his lawsuit, he took a lot of efforts to make sure that he was getting the right paperwork and going through the right channels. Badaracco, if he were to advise the situation, the good things that James did, he was sure to ask clarifying questions before jumping into conclusions to make sure he had things right. Secondly, he simply refused to do what the consultant said, and he dropped the subject, and he thought that the matter was dropped, and he didn't really take it any further than that until he had to. He was acting in constructive self-interest. He originally was trying to recoup some of his losses after losing his job, and then he realized that maybe some greater good could be served by getting with the government and serving the public interest as well. He quietly did his own research instead of trying to cut corners or look at it as a means of vengeance. He painstakingly worked with the government and met their time frame to make sure he was doing everything appropriately. And then he maintained confidentiality. He wasn't the case was sealed, so he was sure to not mention it to anybody outside of his family, and for a period of years that went on until the case was finally unsealed. It was an appropriate approach in my opinion. Appropriate discipline, favorable results were met, and common and personal good was served. Thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for a great class. Thanks. Bye.